But you know what? Sometimes when people look happy, they're not the same inside.
Ooh, Nabil, are you implying something here?
I'm not implying something. Alhamdulillah, things are going okay. I hope for the both of us.
Yes, of course.
But for some people, you know, the sunny disposition, sometimes behind the curtain, there are very, very dark things that you do not actually see. And that's what want to talk about today. I'll give you an example. If you guys remember the famous actor, one of the best comedians in the world, in the entire history of the world, Robin Williams, he took his own life due to suicide. He took his own life due to depression, and that's what we want to talk about in the studio today.
Yes, of course. And this is something that I know can be a bit of a painful thing to talk about for some people, because it's hard to, of course, we'll get into the details of that. It's hard to open up. It's hard to talk about these things. But we're lucky enough and thankful for our guest here who's managed to come on the show for us and just to talk not just about what he has gone through, but also what I would say he has done to overcome it. So we actually have a very, very, very good, and I really, really respect this author a lot. We have SALIM SATORI here with us. Hello, Mr. Salim.
Thank you, Arene. Thank you, Nabil. Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be at RTM.
Thank you so much for being here for us, to talk about this. I know this is something that perhaps is very difficult to talk about.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
I would say for you as well. At the start, right? It's a difficult thing to talk about.
Precisely, Arene.
Right? How do you, I guess, what inspired this book? We're talking about your book that you've written, and I think this is, I would say, came off you.
Yeah.
This is you. This is your book.
Right.
So tell us a bit about it and tell us, what is it about?
All right. Thank you, Arene. Thank you, Nabil. Salam, Malaysia Madani. A pleasure to be here with RTM. Pleasure so much. Thank you. Now, to cut the long story short, COVID-19, I used to be a management consultant. I used to travel. I do conference. Right. I was considered under the service industry. Okay. Tourism, airline stewards, all that. We do conferences. We need to travel. Here comes COVID-19, 2020 lockdown, and most of the employees went back to work, were working from home. So soft skills were cut. I do a lot of soft skill leadership development program. And the management, most of the companies say, sorry, we just want to focus on technical skill. But today, soft skills are important. You are here today because you have fantastic soft skills.
Indeed,
the people skill, empathy, understanding, which is very important today. Though we are dealing with robots, we have become robotics. We still have to keep our humanity. So the first year, I didn't have any income. I was I was feeling very dark, You see, when you're sad, you know when you're sad. But depression is something different. It's anhedonia, low mood 24/7. It was very dark mood, feeling empty. I don't even have simple pleasure like brushing teeth, taking a bath, taking a cup of coffee. Even Mr. Bean could not make me smile. Just imagine, it was so dark. So I thought 2021 things got better. Things did not get better. It got worse and worse. And finally I collapsed at home. Because depression, first thing, he hits you in the head. Because usually depression happens because of object loss. Object loss could be you lose a family member, you can fall into depression, job loss, income loss. So you try to overcome it. But COVID-19 lockdowns is not like any other economic crisis. It was a Great Depression, repeated 1929 depression. Because in other economic conditions, I can still go out to work.
Sure.
Even though I'm having haze outside, I still can go to work.
Yep.
But COVID-19 lockdown, almost all employees work from. So there were some employees like me, people like me who need to go out and work. Barbers, tourism, bartender, restaurant owners,
We freelancers, we understand.
Freelancers,
we understand. I mean, we were also impacted by the COVID-19. And I think a lot of people were also...
Many industries. So I collapsed, so I went for treatment and I told doctor, I told my wife, I'm going to get a heart attack. The doctor said, you're clinically depressed. And she was so surprised that I'm still alive. Usually, depression untreated leads to suicide. So the doctor prescribed antidepressants.
Okay.
And my only friend throughout the journey, Mr. Gobinathan Manikam, he's a lecturer at APU. He was the only friend. Throughout the journey, he said, you got to tell your story. I said, how? Tell your story, the magic of science. How science can save life and reduce suffering. Within 20 days, I took the medication, antidepressant. My suicidal thoughts were reduced. I was able to think clearly. And I still do not know what to write. It was initially 70 chapters, then I cut it to 42. So I kept on writing, though 2022 my business did not pick up. There was something to do. And I did not tell my wife and a kid. I just wrote silently, and my only friend Gobinathan he was spurring me in the moment. So I want to thank two things of my family, but of course, a friend today, Gobinathan, who virtually saved my life. He saved my life, Gobinathan. He was there for me for a darkest period. And of course, science project. My aim of my book is that only science can save us from suffering. So science, seek medication, seek treatment. Don't listen to anybody around you because most of them do not understand based on my experience. This is how the book came into fruition.
I see.
Let's
All right.
throw some appreciation to Mr. Gobinathan.
Hi,
being
Gobi.
a friend throughout.
My savior.
That's nice to know,
He's
Mr.
God's
Gobi. Thank
hand.
you so much.
Gobinathan. Amazing.
But, Mr. Gobi mentioned something about this, how science has helped you in overcoming depression. So maybe you can talk a bit to us a bit about that. Can you explain the scientific basis of depression and its causes? I mean, some people, they don't believe it, but we believe that we have science and we can explain things to science. Maybe you can do that.
Thank you, Nabil. Dear Nabil. See, the question is, a lot of people have stigma about depression in Asia. So the problem is that they think depression is sadness. Sadness, you know, say example, I want A, I didn't get A, I got B. I know when I feel sad. I know when I feel angry. I know when I feel surprised. Depression is different. You're trying to fight massive stress in your life and you try to overcome it. You collapse, you freeze. So you collapse. Your brain is no longer able to think clearly. It is being pummeled every day. So that's why people who are having depression, you cannot see the suffering because it's like cancer. By the time you fall into depression, nobody knows. That's why you have to stop it. What science say? There are many reasons we can fall into depression. Trauma, losses, biological. We want to treat depression 3 areas: psychological, social and biological. Sometimes postpartum depression. Many women are there. Brooke Shields, the famous actress, she herself wrote a book, Down Came the Rain. She had severe postpartum depression.
Wow.
Okay, Anthony Bourdain, trauma, genetics. Genetics also can lead to depression. And depression is contagious. I had depression. The family member could get depression in the future, high chances.
Okay.
So scientific basis means that there's certain changes in the brain. We have a bunch of chemicals, and there's one chemical that's called serotonin. Due to under pressure, the chemical has been reduced. So your moods are not more right. That's why you need synthetic intervention to get your chemicals back on top. That's important. And of course, when you are on medication, that's where psychotherapy can come in. Psychotherapy is a talk therapy. But for severe clinical depression, you cannot talk. You immediately need to help him.
Sure.
I went to see the doctor. I said, "Doctor, please sedate me." Because it's a pain like that. Let me give you one example. Example, this is you.
Sure.
No, this is not you. Example, this is me.
Okay, I was like, sure. I am a small
Sense of humor, very important. So example, every day we receive negative and positive information in our mind, psycho, right? So it hits us, isn't it? How we try to fight it. We have support. But depression is different, you know. When you cannot fight it, it's 24 hours. It's 24 hours. It hits you 24 hours outside, then it goes inside you. Now, every second, I might be talking to you, but I'm suffering. A plane got flame out problem. A plane got problem, engine failure. They can call for Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. But a depressed person is talking to you, but Mayday, 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 Mayday. So it was 24/7. I cannot think. I have panic attack at 4 a.m., pacing in the house. I cannot think straight. I get angry. I cry. Non-stop, I will cry like baby, like no reason. Nobody around me could understand. Nobody. Everybody say, you must be a man, you must be strong because you're a man. That's dangerous. So I went for treatment. That's where synthetically it reduced my panic attack. Because if you don't take care of this, it will lead to suicide. So this is danger of untreated depression. I'm telling you, Arene and Nabil, nobody should go through this. Don't wait until you fall into depression, then we seek treatment. We have to help them before they fall. Because my case is a sad case that I have to fall into this. And there is no full recovery from depression. You have to live with it. And depressed people are not mad. They are some of the most creative, talented people in the world. They are normal people like you and me. But just going through hard times. Show some empathy and love.
And of course, you know, talking about all that, right? Sometimes people have difficulty, like how you say, nobody understands. You know, who am I to talk to? who should I talk to? Who should I? Well, people don't understand it. You know, that's why I would say a lot of people also choose not to open up, not to talk about it, and things like that. So, what would you tell to those people?
Okay, if you have something bothering you, if something could have... See, depression can just come out of nowhere. Biological changes, maybe you're on medication, or could be severe stress, you lose something. If you don't have people you're talking to, if you don't have anyone to talk to, but you're having consistent low mood, sometimes it's very hard to detect ourselves. Because you might say, I'm sad, maybe I'm just feeling...
Maybe we don't realize it's depression, right?
Yeah. You know, somebody even told me, take bananas. Take bananas to treat depression. It's very easy to say. Because the banana have a chemical called serotonin. But the problem is when depressed people, they can eat even setandan banana, the depression will never go because you need sympathetic intervention. My suggestion is, kalau tak ada siapa-siapa around you, I'm very lucky with Kobe. First thing I seek, if you're really having suicidal thoughts, usually it will lead. Suicidal thoughts will come in, then suicidal ideation will come in, then suicidal plans will come in, then suicidal attempt. When you're having suicidal, walk into the nearest hospital. It's okay. I didn't say that, Dr. Jordan Peterson said, please help me, I have suicidal thoughts. Don't go and talk to anybody else. Because, or worst case, talk to the police. The police are not there just to catch the criminal. Police are there to help us. Walk to the police station, balai bomba. Saya ada perasaan ingin bunuh diri. Tolong saya. The police will help you. Trust me. That's a very important option because you have to take care of your life. Because sometimes we are alone. Dan kedua, kalau ada family member kita, our family member, sorry, I go into Malay.
No worries. No worries.
I do that too whenever I'm
we do that in our shows.
Macam saya cakap Melayu je. But of course, this is in English. So we'll go back to English.
PM wants us to speak English, Malay. But anyway, being a Malaysian. Now, one more thing, if you're alone, if you're a family member, family member who is not coming out from the house, no more showing the same signs, correct? Could be, say, you have a brother, you are staying with your brother, and he's a bit burly, and you open the door, he don't want to open. Then what I suggest to you, call the police, because he might fight you. Because the more he sits inside, he will commit suicide, usually 15%. I've done research, though I'm not a psychologist and a psychiatrist, I've done massive research on this. I know the subject like nobody's matter. It is very dangerous. Today, I'm out to destigmatize. I put all my cards on the table. Let's talk about it and seek help. Sometimes you cannot trust the people around you. You need to go to the authority.
Obviously, you have studied extensively about depression because you've gone through it as well. You've managed to overcome it.
Yes, Nabil.
Of course, you had to go through different treatments options. So, because you mentioned something about psychotherapy, which is something that I'm very interested about because it's something that I don't know. But please enlighten us on what are the various treatments that are available to treat depression.
Okay, we are all neurotic human beings. We are a little bit of neurotic. We have anxiety, we have panic attacks, we have worry. This is normal. If you don't have that, you might be an AI. So having these negative feelings up and down is normal. But this is when the panic attack increases or the worries increases, that's why sometimes you need to see a therapist to talk to. They can guide you. But for depression, it's a different case. Because he never seek treatment or no support. He's already collapsed. That's where you need to fix the brain first. The treatment for mental health, brain first. Depression, brain first, medication. That's why psychotherapy means the talk therapy. They'll do many things to take care, to talk to your problems, your challenges. There are many CBT, many ways to improve your mood. So it really helps. Now, medication, what I can say today, Prozac helped me. My doctor prescribed me Prozac, antidepressant, really helped me. And of course, yoga. In my book, if I can endorse something, it's Prozac and yoga. I'm not talking about yoga, really, you turn upside down, turtle. That helps. But the real meditation. Meditation. When I talk about meditation, the best I suggest is Vipassana meditation. That's what started by the first psychologist in the world. My view, the first psychologist, first man who understood suffering was Buddha. He was the first psychologist. He was the first king of all meditation. Vipassana is science, nothing to do with religion. It's how notice your thought. It really helps. So with yoga, and little bit with medication, and the family must support you. People who went through severe depression, they are no longer the same. Because I went through hell. I went through suffering. I cannot be treated the same. That Salim SATORI, that Salim is no more around. Physically, I look the same. But that Salim is gone. This is a new Salim. This is a new SATORI. SATORI is my nama penna. It's a nom de plume, means it's a Japanese Buddhist term, means awakening. I'm a new person. This is my mission. To destigmatize. Family must support. Family must adapt, because that person went through the worst suffering someone can go through is depression. I pray nobody gets it in this room and nobody outside there gets it. We need to create awareness right now, as soon as possible.
Indeed,
Yeah.
of course. And
Yeah.
I know a lot of people as well, even a lot of people who are probably watching, right? You might be smiling watching us back in your house, but you know, you never know. Someone might actually be going through, someone sitting
Correct.
next to you. I'm not saying that Nabil is going through depression, but I'm just saying someone sitting next to you might actually be going through.
Correct.
But I want to shift gears back to, you mentioned antidepressants. Now, we talked about medicines earlier as well, medications and all that. A lot of people have, I would say, it's a misconception, right? That people...
Good question.
That it's not good to take antidepressants because you'll be too dependent on them, right?
Yeah.
And you would have to, if let's say you start taking them, you would have to constantly take them, and that would also affect your health as well. So what would you say about that?
Okay, based on my experience, based on my research. Now, based on my experience, this is the people around me, middle class, educated people around me. This is how they behave. And I'll talk about Malaysians, generally, not all Malaysians. Now, the first one are the very educated people. The very educated. When I say educated, paper educated, you know?
Sure.
Life, you don't need a degree, you need to experience. The educated people say, you shouldn't take antidepressant because it's addictive.
Yep.
They think antidepressants are psychotropic drugs like ketamine. No, antidepressant, the side effects will come first.
Okay.
How can it be addictive? The side effects are so bad. You vomit, you feel nausea, sometimes you sleep, sometimes you can't drive. But the benefits you'll get within 30 days. So they say don't take the don't take the antidepressant, which is wrong. You cannot get addicted to the antidepressant. You can leave the antidepressant once you get back. I took it less than 6 months. I'm managing on my own with natural process. The second type of people I met, based on my experience in Malaysia, are the very, very traditional people, non-scientific people. They told me even demons went inside my head. Demons. They didn't say angels went, but demons. Some even say toyol went into my head. You know, small one. They were the toyol. Some say leprechaun, all that, Shrek, everything. They say you are possessed by the demon. Again, nothing to do. They are something talking to you, but that's not demon. They're just your mind couldn't control. The third type of people are very, very religious people that I meet. Almost all religious people. They say God is testing you because He loves you.
Yes.
That is wrong. Why somebody else suffer, I should suffer? No. Every suffering must be stopped. And the last one, usually the scientific people are Western people, usually European and Americans that I've met. They say, Salim, seek treatment, scientific. There's a lot of it. So this is a stigma today. That's why we are not treating depression. We are looking down at depression. I want to give advice to you. Look at the word depression with respect. Be afraid. Because people think they use depression like that. My coffee machine is not working. I'm so depressed. No, I'm disappointed. The danger of depression, you don't know you're depressed. Look at depression and say, shh, respect it. Bow to it. You know why? When it catches you, it don't let go.
And it doesn't let go.
Respect it.
Let go.
Until it goes to a certain point where it's dangerous for you.
Don't say. Don't say. I was selling a book in Fraser's Hill. I put on the table. One lady educated, she saw, depressed, she laughed. Huh? I look at her, my daughter, look. She laughed, you know. Like she did, you know what she said? You climb the mountain, come down, your depression vanishes. Oh, it was so easy that we don't need medication.
And that's not the direction that we want. And it's good that you have told all your stories on the pages in your book. And
all of this that we have discussed is also in your book as well. Depression is painful. Thank you so much, Salim. I have a lot of questions to ask you, but unfortunately,
we don't have time.
We don't have the time.